Hello, world, and welcome to another episode of Marcel Mindset TV. All right, remember, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button below, and if you find any type of value from these episodes that we deliver on a weekly basis, make sure you go out there and you share it with someone that you think it can help them grow. All right, I'm not going to say too much right now. All right, but today on the show, we got an extremely special guest, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. You know, it would be a disservice for me to, tell about all his accolades and explain who he is, because I want him to say, a little bit about himself, and I want him to tell you guys what he's bringing to the table here today. We talk about financial literacy, and I'm just going to make this statement. There's no one better out there in Canada right now than Nelson Soh to bring you that financial literacy knowledge. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce the one and only Nelson Soh.
What's going on, people? Marcel, thank you for that introduction. That's amazing. Dude, right off the bat, I love your energy. I love the vibes. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'll just do a really quick intro. So yeah, Nelson Soh from Vancouver, British Columbia, born and raised here. Grew up in the city, love the city. If you've ever been out here, the West Coast people, you got the water, you got the mountains, amazing lifestyle out here. Not to knock Toronto or anything like that, but West Coast vibes. Sure. Yeah, grew up out here. I'm a CPA, a chartered professional accountant. I've been practicing for about 10 years now, and moved into the financial literacy space. And recently, over the last couple of years, I published a book. So I'm a professionally published author, best-selling author, and I'm also a TEDx speaker. So I did a TEDx talk around financial literacy and the impact of financial literacy on our social media generation. And what I mean by that is basically anybody, Gen Z, millennials, whatever, who grew up with social media in your hand, in the palm of your hand, right? So Instagram age, TikTok age, like there's so much impact on financial literacy on that generation. And I want to share through my TEDx talk, which is almost at 100,000 views right now organically. So we are growing and lots of opportunities coming out of that. So yeah, it's quite a journey in financial literacy and being able to kind of share my ideas and thoughts, and happy to be here today. Yeah,
we're happy to have you on the show. That's big time. TEDx is not a joke, all right? So make sure after the show, you guys go and search Nelson Soh TEDx. That's it? TEDx? Nelson Soh TEDx. And watch that show. I already watched it. It's going to change your life, all right? So like you said, financial literacy is trending. It's on TikTok. Maybe it's on Instagram. And some people have heard the term financial literacy. So what is financial literacy? And is it important to be financially literate?
Yeah, I think over the last couple of years, with the COVID and everybody was at home, just, on social media, watching TikToks and things like that, there's been a lot of information out there about financial literacy, what you should and shouldn't do, what you should and should not invest in. And I just want to preface all of this by saying, like, if you're out there taking taking financial literacy advice on social media, please be careful, because you need to understand who is giving that advice and what their interests are. So I'll start by saying, like, to me, financial literacy is understanding money and how it works. And I'll say that again. Financial literacy is understanding money and how it works. We all know what money is, right? Like, we transact with it every day. We use it, we earn it, we spend it. We know what it is, but how do we make money work for us? And that, to me, is how to become financially literate, is when you're using money, let's call it, you are money's master and your money doesn't master you. Wow. Because a lot of times we are mastered by our money when we live to earn it just so we could spend it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. That's some gems that you just dropped. And, you did say, make your money work for you. So what are some ways in which people can actually make their money work for them?
Yeah, there's tons of ways. And I will say the vast majority of people actually don't do it. They actually work for their money. And we think about it, right? It's like, oh, I want to buy that next. I want to buy a new car. I want to buy a new home. I want to buy that next video game console, PS5, whatever, right? And everyone's like striving to work for money so that they can go and spend it. But when you become financially literate, you start to understand that if you earn your money, you can actually use your money to make money. And the most common way is through investing, right? And when I say investing, there's a huge umbrella for what you can invest in. The most common one, potentially in your space as well, is investing in yourself, right? And that means, buying books, courses, whatever you need to do, hiring a coach, to help you get to that next level, to understand money. That's like number one. And then there's investing in the stock market. There's investing in businesses. There's investing in real estate, which is another area that I'm super, super passionate about. So there's a whole ton of different ways that you can invest in, but I always tell people, invest in what you know. And if you don't know, go figure it out, because all the resources are out there.
That's right. Yeah. All the resources are out there. You're also available where people can plug into your Instagram channel, plug into whatever outlets, social media outlets you have as well too. And are you available for one-on-one consultation with people as well too? Are you offering those services too?
I do offer those services. Okay. A lot of times it's actually for people who are trying to obviously become financially literate. But interestingly enough, a lot of people have come to me saying, hey, my partner and I need help organizing our finances. Can you help us? And then it transitions into like, hey, I want to buy a home. Can you help me create a plan so that we can do that?
Yep.
Right. So it's like the whole 9 yards. So yes, I would love to speak with you if this is a service or help that you need.
Exactly. That's perfect. So make sure you guys go follow Nelson Soh, and see if he's someone that could help you on your financial journey. Because like Nelson said, it's very important to have a coach, right? So, people say leaders are readers, right? And I believe that. Maybe you do too as well. But what are some books? Because obviously I see some books behind you. Think Like a Monk, Jay Shetty. Shout out to Jay Shetty. Watch on the show one day. What are some books or podcasts you recommend people listen to that have changed your life?
Yeah, well, first I'm going to say, get on that Marcel Mindset show. You guys got to stay plugged in, stay subscribed. I got you, Marcel. Like, this is amazing, amazing stuff. I've watched some of your content, and that's why I'm here, right? Like, you've got some great people on there. So thank you for doing what you do on here. This is great. But in terms of podcasts and books and things like that, like if you're focused around money, there's so many good books around money out there. And I would say the first one I would recommend is The Psychology of Money. Understanding, the psychology around how we make financial decisions.
Yep.
Right. That's one. And then the second one is called I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, another money master out there. And he teaches you, like the book's called, like how to be rich or how to get rich. And the third one, I'm going to plug my own book here. It's called Life Literacy.
100%. There you go.
We teach personal, professional, and financial literacy. It's out there. It's on Amazon, Indigo, Barnes & Nobles, wherever you buy books. Like we're out there. So if you do pick it up, please give me a shout, shoot me a message, tag me in a story, something like that. Share with me what you learned. Curious to hear that.
There you go. Thank you for adding that value. Thank you for giving your suggestions on the books that you should go out there, read, because I always believe the information's in the book. Why reinvent the wheel? Everything's out there. But I want to say, number one, once you watch this show, go get that book, Life Literacy. Okay. That's the first book you need to get. All right. Life Literacy is the first book by Nelson Soh, and I believe a few other authors that you need to get. I need to get that. I'm going to be transparent. I don't have that book, and that's something that I'm going to put in my bookshelf immediately. All right, guys? So I want to transition to like university education because, I went to university, you went to university, and, we hear this trend right now that people are saying, school are for fools, or if you go to school, you're wasting money. School isn't important, or you're not going to be wealthy if you don't go to school. If you do go to school, you will be wealthy. So, in your opinion, is it necessary for someone to be university educated to create wealth?
It's a great question, and really good points out there about the different perceptions about school. Everyone's got their own opinion, right? And I think it's very important that we take everybody's opinion with a pinch of salt, similar to listening to financial literacy on social media. My opinion, for what it's worth to you listeners out there, everybody needs to get an education. I don't care if you believe, education, school is for fools. I think that school teaches you skills, right? It's not necessarily just the books, like the things that they're teaching you in the books, the theory, that's the word I was looking for. It's the discipline, right? It's teaching you to show up every day. It's teaching you to be prepared and not procrastinate and be prepared for tests, exams, be in a high pressure situation. Like these are life skills, in my opinion, right? Like if you can pick up the theory along the way, and if you can learn how to apply the theory into life, to your job, building a high ticket skill, whatever you end up doing, that's a huge, huge bonus and plus. And that's the pathway that most people perceive when they go to school is you learn these skills and then you apply it into life and then you make a lot of money and then you take that money and you build wealth. But there's also these intangibles that schools give you in terms of skills, like I mentioned before. So I do believe that school is critical, and I think that everybody needs to go and get a formal education. Do I think it's necessary for somebody to go to university to create wealth? I don't believe so, because I do know a lot of entrepreneurs, 7-8 figure entrepreneurs that are high school dropouts, right? You learn from the school of life. Like, that's what they tell me, right? So I don't believe it's a prerequisite, but I think that if you are educated formally, you can get a lot further, a lot faster.
Yeah, I love that. And I agree with you 100%. You know, like you said, it gives you that structure, that discipline. You know, I agree with you 100%. So, you know, for those out there that need that are unsure about school, me and Nelson both have been to university. There are a lot of benefits from going there. Don't just watch TikTok and then you don't go to school and then later on you struggle. All right. So do what's best for you. But I do believe in that. And Nelson does as well, too. So, you know, you clearly found your passion, right? And, you know, a lot of times people say, you know, follow your passion and find what you're passionate about. And a lot of people, especially millennials, really struggle with that, like finding what their passion is, or they just don't even look for what it is. And, you know, I strongly believe that, you know, going after your passion and finding your passion is so important, because when I'm doing what I'm passionate about, it does not feel like work whatsoever. So you clearly found your passion. How can someone find their passion?
Yeah. I will be honest and transparent and say that to this day, I'm still searching. Yep. Right? Like, life is always a development game, and we're always learning and growing. So you might feel like you found your passion today, but next week it could change.
Truth.
And through my journey, I do feel that way. You know, there's some days where I'm like, oh man, I love what I do. And then there's some days I'm just like sitting there thinking like, why am I doing this? And then I go back into that hamster wheel in my mind, right? But that's part of life, and it's growth. And when we hear those cliche sayings like trust the process and, you know, all that kind of stuff, like, it's true, right? Like, what's that famous one? It's like the gold is in the process, not the result, something like that. It's true. Like, as you go along your journey, you're going to find different passions along the way. I know that when I was younger, like in my early 20s, I thought, oh, like my passion is playing sport. And that's what it was. But then as I transitioned out of that era of my life, that chapter of my life, it shifted again. So how I bumped into financial literacy was I started doing a lot of self-reflection work in the last, let's say, 5 to 7 years. Tons of really deep work to really understand what brings me fulfillment, purpose, and passion. And through that deep work, what I started to realize was, and I share this story in my TED Talk, is that I'm a CPA, a chartered professional accountant. And I realized one day that I didn't even have my own finances in order. And here I am working with big corporations, advising clients on how to be better with their money, how to earn more money, income, whatever, like metrics they're trying to hit. And I wasn't even doing my own. Wow. And that was kind of like that life-changing light bulb moment where I was like, holy smokes, like I need to sit down and figure this out myself. Like, how ironic is that?
Yeah.
I'm a CPA and I don't even have my own finances together. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then I started talking and sharing some content with some friends and are also CPAs. And some of them came to me and they said, Nelson, like, I feel the same way. And that's when I thought, man, there's a void out there. Like, something is missing. And if I invest time to level up myself, and if I can share that knowledge with the masses, we can really change some lives out here.
Yeah.
And that's the direction that I took. So I invested, 5 years of my life learning about financial literacy, becoming financially literate myself, taking action, not just like reading and doing it. Like, I'm not trying to be a success zombie where I just read everything and take no action. Like, I read it, I took action, I started building the foundations to my own life. And then I started to share that with my audience, which was very, very small. And it still is quite small, but the people that I'm able to reach and impact, like, they're coming to me saying, wow, like, this was very insightful and it changed my life.
Yep.
And I'm on my way to change my life. So when I hear feedback like that, it drives me to keep moving forward.
Exactly. Wow. And one key thing I heard you say was you did the work on yourself. And this is the result of you doing the work, the life literacy book, the TED Talks, because you did that inner work. So make sure you guys do that inner work on yourself. And you know what I love? You said that passion, like, when your passion could change. 1 minute it could be, you're being an athlete, you're at that stage, then you go to the next level and something else. So that can change. I love that. You just broke it down in such a great way. Thank you so much, Nelson.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I think I'll just throw in one more thing here.
For sure.
People think their passion is one thing.
Yep.
And a lot of successful people will always say, just focus on one thing, focus on one thing. And although I agree, I will say you have to try everything in order to find that one thing. right? So that one thing is going to be always like, it's going to be constantly changing and evolving, but you'll never find that one thing if you don't try anything.
Wow.
So get out of your comfort zone, like really do things that you never imagined you would do. And I'm a prime example of that. I'm an accountant, so I work with numbers, but I went and published a book that's words. Like numbers and words are two completely different things.
Yeah.
Right. So just, challenge yourself and go after those big audacious dreams, because honestly, you can make it happen. If it starts up here in your mind, and Marcel, you're the master at this, right?
Yep.
Your mindset is number one. You put it in your mind, it turns into your life.
That's right. You guys might want to go back, rewind this tape 2 minutes and listen to what Nelson just said. He just dropped a bunch of gems. All right. That's going to help you level up. All right, guys, go get his book, listen to his TEDx. This guy is locked in. He's plugged in. He's focused. He's providing so much value, and he's educating everybody out there. So we want to make sure we go and support him. We got to be following him. We want to learn from him. All right. So thank you for that, Nelson. So entrepreneurship. All right. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship, because it's something right now that's super trendy. You see all these TikToks, every other TikTok, if your algorithm is about entrepreneurship, it says, quit your 9 to 5. Entrepreneurship will make you free. You're in the matrix, become an entrepreneur. So I want to ask you, what does entrepreneurship mean to you? And do you think that everyone should be an entrepreneur or start a business?
I'm going to throw the question back at you, Marcel. Red pill or blue pill? Because you mentioned Matrix.
Red pill or blue. I love that.
I'm just kidding. So great question. Entrepreneurship. What does it mean to me? And do you think everyone should try to be an entrepreneur or start a business? That's a huge question, and I'll break it down a little bit. So to me, entrepreneurship, everyone thinks entrepreneurship is like, oh, go be your own boss, set your own hours, drink Mai Tais on the beach, work from your phone. Work with your phone. That's not what entrepreneurship is. It's actually the opposite of that, right? And I think you can resonate with me when I say this. Entrepreneurship is 24/7. It's a 9 to 8, right? 9 a.m. to 8 a.m. the next day. Like there's no days off. There's no time off. No. When you run your own business, when you work for yourself, everything is your fault. Whatever happens, good or bad, it's your fault. And people need to understand that's what entrepreneurship is. It's a long and hard road. But if you can endure that, the rewards are limitless.
Right.
Right. So to me, entrepreneurship is working for yourself, working harder than you ever imagined possible to achieve wealth and greatness and impact more than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
So when you say on TikTok and stuff, if your algorithm talks about entrepreneurship, everyone's saying, quit your 9 to 5, go be an entrepreneur, start a drop shipping business, start this coaching program, create a course. I'm not saying that those are bad things or that those are wrong. They might be for you. But I really need you to assess if that is really what you need to do, because a lot of people actually are built for a 9 to 5.
There you go.
Right. When I talk to people who tell me, oh, I want to become an entrepreneur, but I only want to work from 8 to 4 or 8 to noon, I'm shaking my head, because you're not an entrepreneur. Like entrepreneur, you're online all day, every day. When you're on vacation, you're online. When you're, sitting at home at night, you're online, right? Like that's just the nature of the beast.
Yep.
So I don't think that entrepreneurship is for everyone. I don't think that everyone should start a business. In fact, most businesses fail within the first 5 years. Most entrepreneurs go back to a 9 to 5 because they realize it's not for them. So save yourself the pain and make sure that it's for you. Go talk to entrepreneurs, go interview them, sit down and have a coffee with them, learn about what their lifestyle is actually like and not what is shown on social media, because I would say like 95% of what you see on social media is not real.
Exactly. Come on, guys. You got to listen to what my man Nelson just said. All right. Like that is huge, because he just gave you guys the truth. All right. The truth. This has to go viral, because the truth was given here today. All right. People talk about entrepreneurship like it's an easy game. Like, oh, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, work 2 hours a day. No, if you're someone that cannot handle the 9 to 5, or you can't even handle the 8 to 4, you better not go into entrepreneurship. Like Nelson said, you got to be willing to work that 12, 14, 16-hour days, especially in the beginning when nothing's flowing or you're just starting up. All right. Or if you want to be someone that wants to travel 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a year, maybe it's not for you. Really evaluate that. And like Nelson said, speak to mentors, go shadow an entrepreneur one day, see what it's really about. Go in the trenches, because like 95% of social media is not real. So don't fall into that. I love that advice. Thank you, Nelson.
Yeah, no problem.
So this is Mindset TV, and I'm a strong believer of mindset, and I'm addicted to mindset. I'm addicted to having that growth mindset, and to me, mindset is everything. I check in with my mindset every single 5 minutes. Where is my mindset? What are my thoughts? What am I thinking? Am I thinking thoughts that are elevating me, or am I thinking thoughts that are bringing me down? Because you think positive, positive will be brought in. You think negative, negative will be brought in. So your mindset is everything. So Nelson, your mindset is on point. I see greatness. The mind's everything behind you. You got Winning behind you by Tim Grover. You got all these, high level thinkers behind you. So I already know your mindset is on point. Immediately, I found your content because my mindset is a certain level, and I just resonated with what you were saying. I'm like, this guy's mindset is what I want. I'm learning from you. So what does mindset mean to you, and how do you keep a growth mindset?
I'm going to throw that question back at you right now, if that's okay, because you're the mindset expert, and I'd be curious to know what your definition of mindset is.
Of course. So mindset, number one, I would say mindset is everything. Mindset, if you want to achieve anything, you have to have the correct mindset, number one. So without the correct mindset, you're not going to achieve anything, whether it be you want to start a business, you need the right mindset. Whether you're going on that fitness journey of losing 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds, you need the right mindset. Whether you're going to approach that female that you like or that female that you see, you need the right mindset to believe I'm the one. She's going to choose me. So mindset to me is like, what is your mind? Like, what's going on upstairs? What's happening up here? Are you having thoughts of, negative thoughts where like you don't believe something is going to happen? Or is your thoughts like, this is going to happen? And like your mindset's like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to accomplish whatever it is I want. So I'm going to set a goal. All right. My goal is like, whatever, let's just say 500,000. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes. My mindset's like, whatever it takes. If I got to bleed, if I got to get knocked out, I'm going to get back up. Whatever it takes, I'm going to do it to accomplish my goals, my dreams, whatever it is. So that's what mindset means to me. That's why I say mindset is everything, because it starts with your mindset. Before anything happens, you got to have the right mindset. So that's what mindset means to me.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for asking.
Before you define mindset in your own words, you pointed out that there's a book on my bookshelf right here, Winning by Tim Grover. And I'm a big Tim Grover fan. For you, all of you out there who don't know who Tim Grover is, he's the, I would say, one of the top leadership coaches in the world, sports and athletic coaches in the world. And he was Michael Jordan's personal trainer alongside Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, other great names in the NBA and sport in general. And I'll never forget this. I was watching an interview with Tim Grover, and he was telling the interviewee about a time when he asked people what winning means to them. He asked many different professional athletes, what does winning mean to you? And there was one athlete that response is exactly the same as yours, Marcel, around mindset. And he said, winning is everything. And that was one of my all-time favorite athletes, Kobe Bryant, the late Kobe Bryant. And he told Tim, winning is everything, because it requires you to do whatever it takes to get to your goal. And that means 3 a.m. workouts in the morning. That means blood, sweat, and tears until you make that, 500K in sales. That means sacrificing for your family and your loved ones. Like, it's across the board. So to me, I love this question about mindset, because I'm 1000% aligned with you when you say mindset is everything. How you perceive any situation, anything that happens to you, for you or against you, is all up here in your mindset. Right? And let's use an example. Your car breaks down one day. You're driving on the highway, car breaks down, get a flat tire. Your mindset could be like, oh shoot, this really sucks. Like, the world's against me. This is horrible. I have to spend money and I have to fix it. Or you can look at it the other way and say, hey, this is an opportunity for me to learn how to plug a hole in my tire, or how to change my tire and put the donut back on, and how to be resilient through a tough situation. Right? Like, it's all mindset, and it's all how you perceive a situation. And I think it was Jay Shetty in his book, Think Like a Monk, on this side, camera opposite, when he says, life is happening for you, not to you.
Wow. And
when you think that life happens to you, you start to feel victimized when all of these negative things or hardships or challenges come into your life. Whereas if you see them as opportunities to learn, grow, and develop, life changes.
Yeah. I love the way you just broke that down. That's huge. So you said life happens for you, not to you. Really taking that bar. And like you said, Kobe Bryant said, winning is everything. I love that mentality. And you got that mentality. keep at it, Nelson. This is just the beginning, man. And I'm super excited to follow your journey and like watch your content and just like, see when your next book comes out. Like you got big things coming for you, man. I just got to say that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your support.
Yeah.
Appreciate it a lot.
So, on the channel, really want to help, our younger audience, because I feel like when I was going to school, I didn't really have channels like this where I could go to and learn like about money or just get my mind right. Or maybe I didn't see it, or maybe YouTube was new and I wasn't on it. But now the younger generation has the ability to learn so much from like podcasts. And that's why I created a podcast. So people can just educate themselves, level up and learn. Like, I want to see everybody successful. That's just me and my personality. So if you were speaking to a group of high school students, Nelson, what are 3 money tips and 3 life tips that you would give them?
I love this question because I do speak to a lot of high school students. Yeah. So I do speak at conferences. I speak at high schools, elementary schools. I teach financial literacy across the province, online and in person sometimes. And it's been a dream of mine to go and speak at the collegiate level with colleges, universities across the nation, across North America that actually value financial literacy and believe that we need to teach our next generation these skills formally to help them succeed in life. So for our high school audience out there, if you want 3 money tips, I'm going to tell you right now, the 3 things you need to be aware of is number 1, spend less than you earn. You make $100 doing chores or side, part-time job while you're in school. Don't spend 110. In fact, don't even spend $80 of that. You need to start with a budget to understand where your money, how much money comes in, how much money goes out, and make sure that you do not spend more than you earn. That's when you're going to get into a lot of trouble. I'd say that's number 1. Number 2, I touched on it a little bit, is create a budget. It doesn't have to be overly complicated or complex. You made $100. What are you going to spend that on? Where is it going? And it's okay if you want to spend $50 on, shopping or going out with friends, like that's cool. But make sure that a portion of that goes into a savings account, or ask your parents or your friends how to open an investing account and invest in it. Read Life Literacy. I teach you guys about budgeting and investing in that book. The other books that I shared earlier in the podcast, they also teach you about budgeting and investing and how to do it the right way. And the third thing that I would say around financial literacy is please be careful with social media, right? Please be careful with what you see on social media. Be careful with keeping up with the Joneses. That means, hey, my buddy Marcel over here just bought a new car. I need to go buy a new car. He got the new Jordans. I need to get new Jordans.
Yep.
No, you don't.
That's right.
Because a lot of times we're trying to keep up with our friends. We're trying to be, and I'm doing air quotes here for those of you who aren't listening or who are listening and not watching video. Like if you're trying to be quote unquote cool and you want to be with the latest and greatest things, it's actually putting you in a poor financial situation. So be aware of that. You don't need to keep up with your friends. You need to focus on you. So those are the 3 things. I'll say them again. Spend less than you earn. Number 1. Number 2, create a budget. And number 3, let's call it spend within your means. Don't keep up with the Joneses.
Yep. That's right. That's great advice. Because if I had somebody tell me that, in high school, I'd be a lot further along. Not to say I'm not where I want to be, but I would be a lot further along. So thank you for providing that. It's honestly, it's been such a great show. I have, one final question to ask you, and, I'm here like, I don't want this to end, but I got work to do. And I know you got work to do. I could talk to you all day because you're just, full of knowledge, and, I'm excited to, see your next book, whenever that's coming out. And, I don't know if you got a YouTube channel, but that would be, helpful as well to people too out there. And, I just want to ask, what do you recommend people start today to create a better financial future for themselves? And just the second part to that question is, what do you want to leave the audience with?
Yeah, for sure. So no YouTube channel yet, but I'm on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm on LinkedIn as well if you're on that platform. So please connect with me. Share your wins, like similar to Marcel. Like I want to see you guys win. Yep. Right? Like I want to see what cool things you're doing, how you're thriving in life. And nothing makes me happier than, seeing you succeed and build that wealth and generational wealth if that's what you're after. So please, like, share with both of us, Marcel and I, your journey. Tag us in your wins. Like, keep us posted. We just want to see you guys win. So what do I recommend if you want to start to create a better financial future? You just need to do what I like to call a financial audit. If you're serious about this, take a weekend, a Saturday, a full day on Saturday, and go through every bank account you have, every investment account you have, every credit card, every debt, every loan, everything with a dollar sign attached to it, and audit it. Do I need this? Is it serving me, or is it taking from me? Is it helping or harming? And once you have a picture, a lot of people go through life and they actually don't know where their financials are at. And that's scary. I had a client come to me and tell me, like, Nelson, I haven't logged into my online banking because I'm scared. I don't want to know what I'm going to see. And that makes me terrified, because if you don't know where your numbers are, how are you ever going to build wealth if that's your goal? You don't know if you have $1,000 or negative $1,000 in your bank account, right? You might be in overdraft. So number one, I encourage everybody, and I urge you, please do a financial audit of yourself, your loved ones, with your partner. Sit down together, talk about it, and start there. And once you have a picture of where your finances are, then you can figure out the pieces to get to where your finances need to be.
Perfect. Phenomenal advice, man. Nelson Soh, dropped a bunch of gems on the show. This is the financial literacy expert. I'm going to say the financially guru of the world in Canada right now, dominating. I'm just manifesting it because that's what I see. This guy dropped a bunch of knowledge, so much wisdom, such a modest or humble guy. Just I could just tell, like, you're in constant growth mode. You're always wanting to develop. You're always wanting to get to that next level. I could just feel it. I can feel your energy. I see it on your content. I follow you. I see you on your own health journey, your own fitness journey, just trying to improve and evolve. So it's only up for this gentleman right here. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. Most importantly, comment. All right. Comment below and go follow Nelson Soh on Instagram. And you said LinkedIn and TikTok, was it?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. All right. So we had Nelson Soh on the show. Absolutely crushed this episode, man. You dominated. Like, again, much respect for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. I know you're super busy, so thank you. I salute you, my brother, and we'll be in touch, Nelson.
Thank you, Marcel. Right back at you. Appreciate you. Thank you to all our listeners, and looking forward to part 2.
Yeah, part 2, baby. Nelson Soh. Take care, Nelson.
Thank you. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.